Hello and welcome to your weekly Soul Tribe session. I'm Power Coach Alishia, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, educational, and transformational life coaching and speaking with a twist of tough mama bear. Your source of fun, no fluff, no hand holding, no bullshit love. And I specialize in helping you get out of your own way, put yourself first without feeling guilty, and find yourself again by teaching you how to light a freaking fire in your soul. And this month is our Harmonize and Energize series. And today's session is all about gratitude. So we kicked off the month talking all about law of attraction. And then we went into your chakras, which is your meridian center point in your whole body. And today we're talking all about gratitude. Now, before I actually, say what I want to say as it pertains to gratitude, I want to talk to you about an experience that I just had that it does make me so grateful for my journey and everywhere I've been and the things that I have overcome. But it also reminds me that I have so far to go in my personal growth because people still can take away a chunk of my power. It's for minutes and I can reset and recapture that power from them. I love the block feature on Facebook. I'm very appreciative for that. That really does help me reclaim my power very quickly. And then I'm able to get back to my truth pretty fast as well. So today what happened? Oh, hold on. I need to send a text message. I don't know if I'm ever going to remember this. So I got to remember to send text messages. 1 second. Let me get this sent. Soul Tribe session live. I'll get it typed out as fast as I freaking can because I want to tell you what happened. I want to tell you how it affects me. And then I've already talked a little bit about it, but I want to talk about more steps that I take. Soul Tribe session is live. All right. Ooh, there's lots of recipients. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm back. So, as you know, I swear I'm bold. I'm in your face. It's who I am as Power Coach Alishia. And if you're new to me, newer to my world, one of the things you may not know about me is when I first started as a coach, I curbed and I edited myself. I didn't use one swear word and I wasn't as bold and as powerful as you see me today. I didn't show up that way. I didn't deliver that way. I never swore ever. And what it ended up doing was causing me, I gotta screenshot these member requests really quick and get them approved. It ended up causing me a lot of unhappiness, because I built my business as an edited version of myself. And I did that because I knew that if I built my business as an edited version of myself, then everybody would accept me. Everybody would spend money with me and nobody would be discounting me because I'm me. I just knew that. And so when I started my business, I was like, I'm not going to show up as an edited or as me. There's no fucking way. If I show up as me and people know who I really am, I am never going to make any fucking money. And I have to make money because I've got to take care of my family. So when I show up, I'm not going to be who I truly am because if I do that, I know people won't accept her. Hi, Maya. So I built my business from 2012 to right around 2015, edited. Never swore, was never in your face. I didn't kick your ass. Not like I do now. I mean, there was an element of power to Power Coach Alishia, right? Because I was still me in my baseline and in my foundation. So you definitely had me at the foundational level. But what you didn't have was the unbelievable power that you see today. That ability to just like reach inside you, twist it all around, pull it back out. And you're like, I'm on fucking fire. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm going to kill this. Like, I've got all that I need now in me and I am unfucking stoppable. No, that wasn't transmuted because it was being blocked by me editing myself. So in 2015, when I was making the most money that I ever had, 2014 is when it started, 2015 is when it like all peaked. I was miserable because I wasn't true to me in that journey. I didn't do for me in that journey that my soul needed to feel connected and to grow and to like love myself in that time. I actually killed my soul and hurt myself and denied my true self because I was so worried about what other people would think. And because I was worried about what other people think, I paid that ultimate price. About halfway through 2015, I decided enough is enough. I'm going to show up the way I am. I'm fucking sick of people. I'm sick of being something that people want me to be. Everybody wants everything I have to offer without me swearing. If I could do that, then all the godly people would recommend me. They would send their, people to me. Now, not all, but the specific people that choose to message me and talk major shit, right? I call it talking shit. Not every godly person, right? Everybody's not made equal. Your belief systems are not all designed the same way. But I'm 100% of the time judged by people who are active churchgoers and usually hold some sort of higher calling in their church. These are the only people who judge me. I'm telling you. And you're like, how would you know that? Like, because they tell me in their message. I don't know. They always do. Well, I didn't know that today's topic was on gratitude, but I did know I was going to share this story with you right after this happened. So we're going to get to gratitude in just a second. Yeah, it's not every person, right? But I'm telling you, people who believe in a higher power and believe in people being who they are no matter what and showing up as they are, and believe that your relationship with God or your higher power is what it is and it's not their place to judge, those people love the fuck out of me. But the people who believe that it is their mission to tell other people that they aren't going to be accepted or that they can't be shared with others because those people are godly people and they go to church and they're ministers and they're apostles. Is that what they're called? Apostles? Yeah. That they want a refund. They don't want to hear what I have to say. This literally happened in the split of a second between live and live. And it literally derailed all of my power for just a minute. But I always use these situations as teaching points because everybody always thinks I've arrived. Everybody always thinks that I'm done and I've completed, everything and nothing ever gets to me. And, with all of my tools and energy and power and that there isn't those effects. But it takes a lot from me when somebody sends me a message like that to not revert. I literally got this message. I'm going to read it to you. Let me read it word for word. So I just did a training in my Direct Sales the Smart Way community. Yeah, because I go live every week at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I have my Sell 1K on Black Friday masterclass. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's why my entire training that I just did was not about Black Friday, but just about selling in general, right? She says, I hopped on tonight. I thought it was at 8 p.m. Eastern. Anywho, some really great tips. Then she writes, unfortunately, I'm going to need a refund. I've invited people to chime in and join me, and there are apostles and ministers listening to you, and I'm not looking to go right now. I'm not quite sure what that means. I guess I was expecting this to be open to any and everyone. I really pray that God continues to bless the work of your hand. every single time someone sends me a message like this, they always bring God into it. And they always let me know that due to the fact that I show up as my authentic self, that I am not accepted by them and their people because they believe in God. This happens every single time, every time. So every time I read one of those messages, I instantly think, fucking A. This is why I edited myself for 2 years as a coach and for my entire time as a direct seller. As my entire time as a direct seller, I didn't swear at one party. I didn't swear at one training. I didn't swear with anybody ever, unless we were outside of a training event. I edited myself because I was told that to be successful, you must be professional. And to be professional means that you don't offend other people. And to not offend other people, you can't swear. Well, for me to not swear means I can't be me because I have to edit out everything. The way things are formulated, the way sentences are formulated, the way things come out, the way that I preach, my power, my energy, everything is edited if I can't swear. I've been told plenty of times, just teach what you teach, but don't swear. There's no need for you to swear, as if I'm swearing as if it is a need, right? As if I am attempting to put something on. I don't know. I'm telling you, it was a different message that I got. There's no need for you to swear. You can get your point across without it. I mean, I could if it wasn't part of who I am, and I could change it if I wanted to change it, but I don't. And I could if it wasn't a way that I articulate what I'm saying. Okay. So do you guys want to know why every time you buy something from me, you have to agree that I don't give refunds? You're like, what the hell does this have to do with life coaching? Everything. Do you want to know why you have to agree every fucking time that I don't give refunds? Because every fucking time I get one of these messages, they want their money back. Every time. And I cannot win a case with PayPal and Stripe without you ticking that fucking little box so that I don't have to give a refund for being me. I refuse to give a refund because I am who I am. We'll get to gratitude soon. But every time I get one of these messages, I think to myself, God damn it. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't show up as you. Do you know how much more money you would make if you were you? You used to have $500,000 company. And when you decided to show up as you had to start the fuck over, almost all the way over. The story I used to tell myself all the time was the reason why I lost my $500,000 company is because I was me. That was my story. Because you decided to show up unapologetically you, that's why you lost a $500,000 company. I told myself that story for years. From 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Then all of a sudden in 2019, I went, there's no fucking way. There's no way you went from a $500,000 company to a $30,000 company a year because you decided to show up unapologetically you. Tell the fucking truth to yourself and let's move forward. Well, there's a million things that has to happen in order for that to happen, right? There is. It can't just be that I showed up as me, but I made that true for me. Remember how we always talk about the lies you tell yourself? This is one of them. This kind of wraps up everything I fucking teach and everything I'm about. So I believed this for so long that it creeps back up when I get a fucking message like this. I go, see, this is what I'm saying. You're on the track. You're doing so good. You're showing up authentically. You're delivering. You're just feeling it in all areas and all avenues. And then you get this and go, see, but do you know how many more people you're losing because you're you? If you just wouldn't be you, then you would be a multimillionaire by now, Alishia. Hi, Mercedes. Hi, Angie. But because you're you, you're not a multimillionaire. And then I have to go, fuck, I got to go live in 5 minutes. You got to get your shit together with this thought process. Oh, thank God it's a life coaching live because I'm going to go live and I'm going to use it as a teaching point. And then we'll get to the real teaching point. If in order for you to be, do, and have all the things you want, you have to be a fake version of yourself to make other fucking people comfortable, then you've got a huge problem. And the problem's with you. because you can literally be, do, and have anything you want, being 100% unapologetically you. Anthony Robbins is a multi-billionaire and he says fuck, but he loves God. You know, there are multi-billionaires all over the place in a public spotlight that swear. He tells a story about when he went on Oprah, that Oprah said, please don't swear. And Anthony Robbins was like, that's going to be hard because I use swearing as a pattern interrupt. It is a purposeful thing that I put in my speeches to interrupt people's patterns to get them to pay attention. So without that, I've got to figure out how to edit it to do a pattern interrupt so I can get that same point across. Now, I don't use it for that. I don't use my swearing as a part of my teaching. My swearing is just how I speak, right? So let me tell you my response. I've learned how to get really good at telling people to fuck off without telling them to fuck off. I said it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Right now, it's about 7 p.m. Eastern. Number 2, I don't offer refunds. You have to agree to that when you purchase from me. And I would never refund someone because I am me and swear. There are plenty of options to get my coaching style before purchasing from me and all my free training. I'm 100% me in all that I do, and I expect you to be as well. I would never not do business with you because you're godly. My training is open to everyone. If you are going to judge me for being me, or if people are going to judge me for being me, that's their burden to bear. When I write a response to people, that response is for them as much as it is for me. It has been one of the hardest journeys of my entire fucking life, being in the public light and not editing myself to make other people feel comfortable. That is one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. My favorite coaches in the whole world, they will be friends for the rest of my life. They have an entire marketing company. And when I first brought them this challenge, because they were coaching me at the time, the woman of the two coaches, it's a husband and wife duo, said, offense is never given, it's chosen to be received. If somebody is offended by what you're saying, that's on them. They're choosing to be offended. You can't make someone offended. They have to choose to take offense to that. And I went, oh, I love it. Oh, and I usually always in my messages with offense is given, or offense is never given. It's chosen to be received. But she never said she was offended, so I didn't do that. I'm going to put this in the comments. Are you guys here? Are you getting any value out of this? So I won't go back and forth with people. I am not going to sit and defend me being me. Do you know how bad that sucks and how bad that feels when someone attacks you for being you? And then you have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to prove yourself to them that you are worthy. Oh, fuck you. We're not doing that. So she got her response and I blocked her from messaging me. That is protecting my power, but it's also protecting her because I know myself well enough and I'll go dirty really fucking quick if this goes back and forth too much. Once you say what you have to say and I say what I have to say and they're not on the same wavelength, there's nothing else to fucking talk about. If we keep going, I go crazy. So I block you for your own good and I block you to protect my own personal power. So I'm sharing this with you because there's going to be times where you've got to do the same thing. And sometimes you're not on fucking Facebook. Most people don't ever say any of this shit to my face. Let me tell you what. People don't say any of this to my face. I remember going to North Carolina and doing an entire talk. It was like one of my most packed rooms. I think there were 30 or 40 people in this room in North Carolina. And they didn't like Daniel and I's dynamic. They didn't like the way we worked with each other. They didn't like the way that I talked to him. They didn't like it. But they never said anything to me. At the whole event, they acted like everything was great and whatever. But they told my team and they sent it in an email to my customer service, but they never told me. See, people have really big balls and like online, right? Where they'll say things that they won't ever really say to your face because they don't have that courage. And so you have to have these tools in place to protect yourself from those people. In the same breath, there's nowhere in your life that you should not be allowed to be you. I get if you work for somebody else and, you know, their clients and whatever. I get that. I'm not talking about that. That only makes sense, right? That's not your business. You work for someone else. They are paying you. You're on their payroll. So you do got to abide by their rules. So I'm not talking about that, okay? But I am talking about when you change yourself to make other people comfortable because they can't handle you as all of you. I always did that. My whole life was filled with, because I'm me, I make people uncomfortable. So because I make them uncomfortable, I have to make them feel better about the fact that they were made feel uncomfortable because I am who I am and they're not good in their skin. So this now will shift into why I'm so fucking grateful for so many different things and into gratitude. So I'm grateful that I made the decision in 2015 to not continue building my business that way, because today, mark my words, I would be a multi-millionaire being a fucking fake. I would say 50% fake. Training, real. Heart, real. Power, real. But me, fake. I could tell the difference listening to a training that was the edited version of me and then listening to a training that was the unedited version of me. Even if both had no swearing in them, I could tell the difference. And when I made the shift because of the power difference, it was because in this training, I knew I was going to say whatever the fuck came out of my mouth, however the fuck I felt it. And that was that. And in this training, I knew I was editing and filtering every fucking word that came out of my mouth, every word, because I had to filter every word in order to catch the swear words, you see? So over here, I'm thinking about everything I'm saying and editing out. It's exhausting. By the way, if you ever have to do that on a regular basis, it's exhausting. And then over here, it was like, this is me. There's no mistake that I had this belief system that if I showed up one way, I would make this amount of money. And if I showed up another way, I would not have this amount of money. I just believed that, right? But to this day, and in this day, I should say, I know that it's that belief system that has always held me back. And so I want to impart on you that it isn't what you think is the reason that's the reason. It's your belief system about what you think is the reason that is causing that. Okay? Thanks, Kelly. So I'm grateful that I made that decision in 2015. I would never go back. I'm grateful that I have the tools on Facebook to say what I need to say and block. I'm grateful that I have the things in place now that I don't have to give money back because, I mean, do you know how bad that feels? Here's a refund because you don't like me for me. That it's just a horrible feeling. Let me just tell you, it's just horrible. I'm grateful that I can take that situation and it's like rallying me up. Obviously, I'm not as happy-go-lucky and bubbly as I was on my last training. But I can come here and I can use it as a teaching point to give you that power and that energy, right? So because today's session is all about gratitude, I want you to be grateful for the shit. Actually, it's my Thanksgiving podcast. What is it? Let me grab my notes here. And I'm going to elaborate on it. Haha. Be grateful for the journey, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly in that journey, right? Be grateful for it. You only want to look at what's good and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that. But when you're not grateful for the shit, the bad, the challenges, those are what gave you your lessons to grow. Those are what brought you what ended up being the good. Those are what gave you the power in creating the good. So you can't deny the shit and only be grateful for the good, right? Gratitude is about full on gratitude with everything. Be grateful for the hurt. The hurt that you are caused lets you know what you want in the future, what truly matters to you, what you're willing to fight for, what you're willing to accept and what you won't accept. The pain that you feel is why you take certain actions and put certain things in place, right? That's why I have a no refunds policy. That's why I know that you can block someone on Messenger, but they can still see everything else. That's why I know that if someone is too cray-cray, then I can go and delete them from my world in just a few clicks. They can't see my page. They can't get any of my emails. They no longer have access to any of my training, right? I'm grateful for those hurts because it's given me the power to take back control over my own power and energy that someone crept in and tried to deplete. Be grateful for the mistakes. The biggest mistake I ever made was ever showing up as an edited version of myself because of the definition of professionalism that someone else told me was the definition of being professional. So I adopted that as my own truth. And I believed that to be professional, I didn't swear. Wasn't too bold. I didn't kick your ass too much. Right? I didn't show out too much because then you wouldn't like me. Because I had adopted my mistake of adopting someone else's definition of what professional looks like. It kind of fucked up a lot for me. Think about that. But I'm grateful for the mistakes because they taught me so much along the way. I learned so much in that edited version of myself and building a business that I can still implement now while being truly me. You see what I'm saying? So it's not all for nothing. I didn't lose everything because I made a mistake. There was a lot that I learned in the mistakes that I made. A lot that I learned. It's so easy to be thankful for the good because the good feels good. And it's so easy to deny the hurt, the bad, the mistakes because they don't feel good. But if you're not willing to be grateful for all of it, you're never going to get more abundance and amazingness in your life. It's about loving all of it, right? So I want you to shout out in the comments, not like, I want you to hear me on this. I don't want you to shout out like you're grateful for your husband, you're grateful for your kids, you're grateful for I want you to choose something like my journey is me being an edited version of myself, right? That is something I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I was an edited version of myself. I'm grateful that I built that way. I'm grateful that I showed up that way, even though it killed my fucking soul, right? I want you to tell me in the comments, what's something you're grateful for that in it is not a positive, but you're grateful for the lessons that it taught you. So shout that out in the comments. What is something that you're grateful for that isn't a positive, but you're grateful for those lessons? Okay. And while you're shouting that out in the comments, I want you to move forward over the next week specifically. And I want you to be looking at the things that you deny in your life, the things that you're denying gratitude for because they're not great. They're not great. So fuck them, right? What are you denying that gratitude for? Because if you are denying the gratitude for that, you're creating some shit in the back end. If you're not, so Mercedes says, I'm grateful for the relationship I'm in, right? Well, if she denies the relationship she's in, right? She doesn't appreciate it at all. She's going to attract that to her. She's going to attract more of that relationship or more relationships like it. Now, remember, the key to your answer The comment was something that is not good, that is seemingly bad in your eyes, but you're grateful for it, right? So her relationship is a huge growing point for her right now, right? So this isn't something that's like, amazing for her right now, but the journey is amazing. And there's so much to be grateful for in it, because when she emerges out that other side from the caterpillar to the butterfly, she's going to be the most beautiful butterfly and have the most beautiful life and the most beautiful relationship and connections, right? Then if she was to deny the journey and die as a caterpillar because someone helped open the cocoon. Do you guys know that? That if a caterpillar gets help, like someone opens it, a human touches it and opens it, it dies, because the struggle is part of the beauty. Did you know that? Okay. Kelly says, I'm grateful I have friends that accept my crazy. With all of my networking changes, they hang with me. Okay. So is that really a gratitude? That's not a negative gratitude. I want something that you guys, that's a negative in your life that you're grateful for. That's a positive, that you have amazing friends that are with you along that journey. So that's a positive gratitude. I want a negative gratitude. I want your comment to be something you're grateful for that is seemingly shitty, right? Something bad. Like, I'm grateful that I built my direct sales business and the first part of my coaching company as an edited version of myself, as a fake version of myself. That's not good that I did that, but I am grateful for it because of the lessons I learned, right? Yeah, that's a good example. I'm grateful for my artist elder family telling me I'm not good at art. Yeah. Because see, we want to be angry about it, right? I'm mad. Fuck them. I can't believe they said that. What horrible people. That's so rude. Yeah, all that's true. But then on the flip side, the gratitude is like, I learned because of that. I learned that the only person's opinion about my art that matters is mine. And actually, it's not just my opinion that counts, because people are buying my shit. So fuck them, right? So I'm grateful that they said that, because it was always in my head. And then one day I said, you know what? Let me just see. Let me just see if they're right. Let me just see. Actually, they're wrong, Hi, Joanne. Angie says, I'm grateful for telling my sister off. What a relief to not have to deal with her anymore. Some people would be like, wow, that's not good. No, you found your voice. You found your power. You realized what was holding you back and stopping you and stifling you. So the gratitude is that you found your power, right? Not in the fact that you may have hurt her, right? Because somebody would be like, well, you hurt her and you're proud of that. See, people twist things, right? So with gratitude, it's not in gratitude. It's nothing to do with the other person. It's just proud that you found your power, your voice. Maya found her own confidence and her ability. Mercedes is grateful for the lessons that she's learning, because in the lessons is the growth to hopefully not repeat the mistakes, not to repeat the hurt, not to repeat the bad. So I love that in today's session, the power of it was in the bad, right? The gratitude of the bad. I would have never come from this angle if I didn't get that message right before I came live. I would have never come from this angle in this training. And this was a beautiful angle to come from, because I feel like so much in our life, we deny the bad things, being grateful for the bad things because they're bad. And we only look at the good things because they're good. We harbor on the bad things. We talk shit on the bad things. We let them hold us back and hold us down. They make us continually a victim, right? Or you go, you know what? I'm so grateful for this shit. Because why? 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 When something fucking sucks and feels really bad, I challenge you to write a list. I'm grateful for so-and-so because they taught me this. If they abuse you and you got away from them, they taught you that you're worth more. Do you think you could have learned the worth more lesson without them abusing you? Some people would say yes. I say no. That's how you had to learn that lesson for yourself. You had to learn that lesson for yourself that way. Because if you were going to learn it a different way, you would have learned it a different way. My angels call this your, like, they say that the life that you're living right now, you put these situations in your life that you're going through to help you challenge and overcome them. So before you came to human form in this life, your life's already all mapped out, right? Your destiny is what it's going to be. And in that journey, you put things in place there to help you grow through them. And so it's up to you to grow through them or let them stop you and to hold you back. So I want you to start seeing these quote unquote obstacles is gratitude paths. Yeah. I'm grateful for this path. I'm grateful for this person. I'm grateful for this shit. I'm grateful for this mistake. I'm grateful for this hurt because it gave me this. Okay. Okay. I hope you guys love this. I hope that my rough times, my lessons, my challenges have given you that connection. And I will leave you with this. The next time you think about editing yourself to make somebody else feel comfortable, remember this: offense is never given, it's chosen to be received. We'll see you next time.